Hey dudes, CI here. Well, once again, there's no theme, so I have no idea what to talk about. After pondering this for a few days and coming up blank, I've just decided to comment on all of your videos. Okay, first up, Lacey wants advice about how to survive a road trip with kids. And I'm not entirely sure. I've been on tons of road trips, but never with kids, except I guess when I was a kid. The older you get, the better you get at entertaining yourself and being satisfied with the sights along the road, but for kids, much more difficult. And I'll be honest, I think you're pretty much screwed with the one-year-olds. I mean, I don't even think of one-year-olds as real people yet. They're essentially babies, right? But for the other one, 3-year-old, I think maybe coloring books, maybe other little crafty, gamey sorts of things. To be honest, you're probably sort of screwed with that going too. It's going to be a tough 6 hours, Lacey, plus the 6 hours coming back. So Godspeed to you. I'll be interested to hear about it when it's over. Who's next? We'll do Jekka next, and she hates the heat. I hear you, man. I do too. I live in Portland, Oregon now, and the summers aren't too bad, but I grew up in North Carolina, and summers there are friggin' awful. Just overwhelming heat, punishing heat for like 4 or 5 months. I suppose that if I grew up in Minnesota, I'd love summers because it comes after, the long, horrible Minnesota winter. Summer must be like a salvation to people up there. But in North Carolina, for me at least, it was the opposite. Summer was the most hellish time of the year, and winter was a wonderful relief. Okay, now I will follow Nathan's lead and try to kick a hat from my foot to my head. It took Nathan over 100 tries, so this could take a while. Oh, well, what do you know? First try. And lastly, Dan and Tiago were both talking about philosophy, so I'm going to sing Monty Python's Philosopher's Song, which is really just a drinking song with a bunch of famous philosophers. Immanuel Kant was a real pissant who was very rarely stable. Heidegger was a boozy beggar who could drink you under the table. David Hume could outconsume Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel. And Wittgenstein was a beery swine who was just as sloshed as Schlegel. There's nothing Nietzsche couldn't teach you about the raising of the wrist. Socrates himself was permanently pissed. John Stuart Mill, of his own free will, on half a pint of shandy was particularly ill. Plato, they say, could stick it away. Half a crate of whiskey every day. Aristotle was a bugger for the bottle. Hobbes was fond of his dram. And René Descartes was a drunken fart. I drink, therefore I am. Yes, Socrates himself is particularly missed. A lovely little thinker but a bugger when he's pissed. All right, that's it. See you tomorrow, Linda.